could start before we call her. I had Zona come. I don't know if you've all heard, they are going out of the courthouse with the food pantry. It's going to be up on Lorraine Street where they have, you had the AA in there.
We had AANA there, and we've moved it across the street to another building of ours in order to open that up for the food pantry.
So the food pantry's going up there, and we wrote up a letter for them to try to get some funds to help with some of the work they need to do up there as far as electrical and some cement work and stuff through the St. Francis Community Foundation. But just wanted her to come because the money that we have for food, which is how much?
$35,000.
$35,000. Basically, that's where it's going to have to almost all go, isn't it?
If they can justify it. We can't just,
Right.
they have to have
What's up, Meals on Wheels?
them too, yes.
Yes.
So if somebody's got some,
Yeah, we'll find out on Meals on Wheels what's going on there. So we have some money to help out both of those groups. So I think, what would Zona have to do? They have to prove their expenses and...
Yeah, Justine will put together a packet for you guys and anybody else that's going to apply with, you'll have to provide invoices if you're wanting these funds to buy food. Invoices for like the last couple of months of what you have purchased. It could be reimbursed. The potential is there then to buy more. That's kind of what it would be. But that's all the funds can be used for is food.
Food or wages, right? Which there's no wages.
Oh, right. If you had a paid person.
Yeah, no, we don't have paid people. It's all volunteer.
Yeah.
And the invoices that I get from the Kansas City Food Bank, right now, we are still deleting our CHS grant. I do not know how much is left on that grant. But every month when I submit my order, so the last couple of months my order has been $300 or $400, and that's due to they got grants from Bezos, from Amazon, towards a bunch of food banks and stuff. So we're dwindling down on some of that. So some of the food has been free, but like I said, some of it that's not free is coming out of the CHS grant. We are no longer eligible for a CHS grant. They're not doing it for the food banks anymore. So once my grant's done with them, it's gone. So in anything I'm not able to purchase through them, I purchase through the grocery store here or Dollar General.
And how much inventory do you guys keep, like on hand for like non-perishable stuff?
Non-perishable, I don't keep a whole lot on hand. Only for the mere fact that our delivery truck comes 2 weeks prior to distribution night. So it's not going to keep in the refrigerator. It goes from, it goes from a vendor to the food bank, and it's kept in cold freeze, and then it goes to the cooler, and then it goes on the truck, which is a refrigerated truck. And then when it gets to me, it's not looking very pretty. So I don't order fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. I can order bread boxes, which will hold till distribution night. And then that's about all the non-perishable I can get.
But those would be perishable.
Yeah, they would be perishable, but the breads actually stay. They don't go bad like the produce does.
So, but I'm wondering about canned goods and boxed goods.
Canned goods and stuff like that. I keep enough in the pantry to provide for at least 50 families. Now, some of the stuff I can't get that much. I mean, on my order form, I'm only able to order a case of macaroni and cheese, and there's only 24 boxes in there. So I'm having to supplement by either going to the grocery store or Dollar General, whichever one's got what I can get. Because grocery store has problems getting their orders fulfilled now, too. Dollar General doesn't always get all their stuff fulfilled, too. And I can't place an order with Dollar General. I just have to go in and take off the shelf what I can. And I try not to eliminate everything that's on their shelves either.
Which that's been a problem all over the country.
Mm-hmm. It's
people
gonna- it's-
hoarding stuff and going in and just wiping off shelves and then
Yeah.
that, they don't need to do that. But they think they do, so. Okay, well, once we get everything figured out, we're gonna have some monies available for the food pantry and stuff, so, as soon as we get figured out, and that's what we're working on tonight, is figuring out our plan of attack on how everything's gonna be, and then, we'll get you something that where you can fill it out, and then we can get you going on it, so. How soon will you be moving up there?
We're hoping November now. We were trying for September, but with Greg's surgery, it was just a onset real quick. They wanted to get in there and do it, so he's going to be out for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So we're playing by ear on that one. I'm going to do as much as I can up there with his guidance, and we go from there. We've got the cement poured. We're going to frame in the space between the two buildings, and that's going to be where we're going to put the commercial refrigerator and the freezers, so they don't take up room in the other, because the others where we're going to put all their shelves and all the food and stuff.
What was the address again?
It's going to be at 405 South Lorraine.
Oh, okay. And it's your big building, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got the
okay,
4
yeah.
storage units,
Okay.
but I also have the little 2-car garage next to it. That's what we're going to be
Okay.
using for the pantry. It's 24 by 24. It's going to be more than big enough for what we do. We'll be able to put all the shelves in there, and the flow of the people going in and out is going to be just almost like we do over at the courthouse. So there's plenty of parking. They're not going to be in anybody's way. We won't be blocking traffic, you know.
Okay, you have any questions for us?
No? And then this is strictly for food, correct?
Right.
Okay. And any help is greatly appreciated from the
Yeah.
food pantry. I mean, some of the volunteers have even gone to Walmart, picked up a few things here and there, but it's like, I'd rather be able to buy it from here. And yes, we are more expensive than Walmart, I get it, but
Yeah, but you know, when we're getting this kind of money,
yeah, I would rather keep
it's
the money in the
taxpayers'
county.
money, so let's help the people here in town.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing. The building materials and stuff, we got a little bit of discount on that through the lumberyard here in town, so we're getting the stuff from there. And the concrete, we got a little bit of a discount with that. We're trying.
Yeah.
You know, I've donated the building on a 10-year lease, renewable every 10 years. So now the food pantry just has to pick up the utilities, the liability insurance, things that we didn't have to do at the courthouse. So it's going to put a bigger strain on our budget.
Okay, well, we'll try to help you out as much as we can, and we'll get you the information after we get it all set up.
That would be great.
Okay.
As far as the invoices, yeah, I can show you what I've ordered and what the totals were. But just take into consideration, there is a lot of free stuff on there because of the grants that the food bank got. Otherwise, normally I spend anywhere from $500 to $600 a month just through the food bank for food. And then what I can't get through them, like I said, I do go through the grocery store for Dollar General.
I'm going to assume, and we'll talk to Justine when we call her, but I'm assuming that that's what they'll ask for. And my question for Justine would be, how many months can we, I mean, the businesses, it's only 60 days worth of inventory, but for something like this, I wondered, that's why I was asking about the non-perishable foods, if you had space to store, how much can we get?
Yeah, I will have ample storage for any non-perishable. Like I say, that one space that we're filling in or putting walls up and the roof up and all that where the fridge and the 3 freezers are going to go, there's still going to be plenty of storage in there. So we're putting shelves in there also for overflow. If I have the overflow, it's going to go in there for the non-perishables, like the canned soups. And then if I get drinks and stuff from the food bank, I usually try to order as much as I can on free stuff from the food bank and get it here to the families. And sometimes it's stuff that isn't necessarily healthy, but if they get a treat, is what I call it, a treat, then they can spend their money elsewhere. Instead of going out and buying the sodas or the Kool-Aids or the little coffee packets or whatever, at least they have that, and then they can take that money and spend it on actual food or utilities or something.
Okay, well, we will get back in contact with you as soon as we have everything lined up.
Okay, sounds good. And I have all my invoices, so if we need to go back further before the Bezos grants and all of that hit in, I can show you generally what the amount would have been and then what CHS paid.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because if we don't use up the money, it has to go back.
Right.
And so we just as well use what we can.
Okay. So, sounds good. Yeah, we'll have ample storage for anything.
Okay, well, thanks for coming.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Scott. Uh-huh.
Okay, do we need to discuss anything before we call this team?
My concern is if they're getting grant funding for that, when they qualify for this.
We need to ask Justine that.
Because if they're not paying, if they can't,
But this funding that they're getting wasn't COVID-related funding. It was just a grant. Or was it COVID-related?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I don't
so
think it was
either.
either, but if they weren't paying anything out, how can they still get invoices but they weren't actually paying money out? You know what I'm saying?
Unless we had to go back.
I mean, they know that they've done it for years, you know, if they can say,
I don't know.
this time period, we had grants, you know, this is what we usually normally
Like
do.
going back, if they've gotten grant funding for it, how do you, they had no expense. Now going forward, if the grant is
Right.
not there, then maybe they could.
Yeah, I see what
think they
you're
would
saying.
have to verify that they're still not getting the grant funding for that.
We'll have to ask Justine. I have no idea.
You been calling?
Yeah, we just as well. Because it sounded like their grant funding's gonna run
Why
out.
did you say they weren't getting vegetables anymore?
Well,
Produce, she said, well, once it got here, what's it gonna do?
Self-life, basically.
I don't know when Candy was doing it. She was getting produce donated by Walmart, about a cratefuls,
oh, she got tons of stuff.
fresh produce.
Really?
And
Oh,
meat?
man.
Yeah, Walmart was donating their stuff that was,
Or was it at the end of the expiration?
yes, yeah.
Hello.
Justine?
Yes.
Hey, it's Amanda with the City of St. Francis. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah, I guess we're starting to go through this and trying to figure out what all we need to do to get this rolling for the businesses and the food banks and so forth.
Okay.
We-
Okay, so the first thing pretty much that we need to do is kind of set a date of when we're going to roll this out. Lila had emailed me this morning or yesterday saying maybe that you guys are going to send something in your next billing, like that's like August 28th, and keep it open until September 30th. So would you open applications on August 28th? Like people can come get them on that day, or what are you guys thinking?
That give,
Nobody would get their bills until probably 31st or the 1st.
yeah. Yeah, does that date work good? Or we need
So
to,
push it back after Labor Day? No, not after.
Well, we have to
First
send
week.
it out with our bills. That has to be on the 28th.
Oh,
But
so, yeah, we could send it out on the 28th. But that gives them, we're giving them a month to apply is what we're saying then, basically, September?
Yeah.
Surely that
And that's
would.
up to you. If you guys want to shorten it, you can. But, I mean, unless you have businesses that are potentially going to close their doors if they don't get this money fast, I don't think 30 days is going to hurt.
I haven't heard of anything like that, but you never know.
Yeah.
They could pop up tomorrow morning.
And that gives them time if something would pop up, if there's an outbreak or something, and things get shut down. Again, that gives them to the end of the month to apply.
Well, does everybody think that'll work?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna stay with that.
Okay.
Give them the month of September to get in and fill out an application then.
Okay. So it's going with that. The next thing that you guys need to decide is how are you going to potentially judge these applications? We just have to figure out some type of system how you want to look at them. We can do just first come, first serve, and let them apply for the maximum amount potentially. They just have to have proof of payment and invoices. A business can apply for $25,000 with one employee. If they have 2 employees or greater to 5, they can apply for $35,000. 6 employees to 50, they can apply for $50,000. So your next kind of, which this is a hard one, but you have to decide how you want to make preference. Do we want to look at the applications of people that close? Do we just want to do kind of first come, first serve and see what we get? Do you want to set a limit and say everyone gets funded and we're just going to take the money and divide it among everyone? You just need to decide how you want your program set up. That way, if potentially you're just going to give out the full amount to people that they request, you don't have people coming in, 2 weeks after, all the money's technically gone and saying, hey, that's not fair. You didn't let me know how you were going to do that. I just want you guys to be protected. You can plan however you want. I don't know. Looking at our other applications that we've started, really no business. We've had one grocery store that they qualified for like $35,000, but no other business even got up to that high dollar amount because you can only use 60 days of invoices. So most businesses don't expend that much money. Small businesses anyway expend that much money in that amount of time. So with that being said, do you guys have any questions for me or need any feedback from me?
Has anybody got any questions?
This is something we should wait till the end of September to make our judgments on how we're going to disperse the money? Wait till we get the whole application process finished?
You just need to, you got to have some type of idea at the beginning. You can't wait till the end and then say, oh, we were going to do first come, first serve. Because if you are going to do that, you have to let these businesses know that it is going to be competitive and they need to get it in right away.
Did we not say at our last meeting that we're going to, whatever amount we get, to whoever applies, we'll just shrink the amount, but everyone will get something?
I think we need to let everybody apply, and then if we get enough requests for more than the amount of money we have, then we, fan it out,
Fan it out,
yeah. I don't think we do first come, first serve.
I don't think so.
I think we serve everybody.
Right.
Everybody apply that wants to apply. If they qualify, then we figure out.
And you're never going to get around, oh, I didn't know. There's always going to be someone say, I didn't know. I have a website. We send out a weekly newsletter. We put bulletins in the church, and we still have people in our own church, in our own town say, oh, what's going on? I mean, I don't know how you don't know.
Yeah.
So.
We put it out as best we can. I think we let
Yeah,
everybody apply.
it's got to be up to them.
We see who
We
has
also have
applied.
utility bill, right? So that should be
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty obvious.
What did you say?
Isn't this going out in the utility bill, the
To
application?
all the businesses,
All the
yes.
businesses, so,
They
Yeah,
should all know.
There's no
Yeah.
reason to not know.
Right.
At this point.
well, I don't like the first come, first serve, but I do
No.
like the fact that you let everybody apply, and then it does make a difference on how many employees they have and what they mean to our community on how we can, the larger ones, we might have to fund just a little bit more than a smaller one that might have one employee. And so there's many ways to weigh that, but I don't like the first come, first served.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds like a good plan right there, what you said. We're going to look at everyone. So pretty much you're telling me that you want every business that applies and qualifies to get some type of funding. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then we're going to divide it depending on their need, what invoices they give us, and then how many employees they are retaining
Yes.
and keeping with this grant.
And-
Okay?
And
You guys made
I
it
think
very
there should
easy.
be-
This is the fastest phone call I've had.
I think there should be something in there about people that had to shut down, close. I think they should get priority.
What
Well,
are you
I
talking
think
about?
at that point, we'll look at who all
Well,
applies.
salons,
Hair salons?
the furniture place, the auto barn was told to shut down for a while until she petitioned, or they petitioned
Well,
somebody.
She
Okay.
didn't have to.
She didn't have to.
The furniture store didn't have to. They did that on their own choice. So, but, I mean, they can still apply and everything,
Oh.
but both of those did it on their own choice. They
Okay,
did,
well,
I think
they
we look
did.
to see who
I think
applies.
it's just salons and they were forced to close.
Yeah. So
And restaurants. were pretty
Well, yeah,
much
we were
shut
forced
down.
to not serve anybody.
the restaurants was the toughest ones where, they could pick up an order, but that, most of them was barely getting by if they were getting by. So, I think we could still pretty well
Yeah.
weigh it out once we get the applicants in here.
Yeah.
And,
Who makes the determination on who qualifies and who doesn't?
The only qualification that I have is someone from that business has to be low to moderate income. So there's an employee certification that goes with every application. They have to have at least one come back saying they're low to moderate income. If they do not, that is how they would not qualify. Another potential not qualifying is we ask for their total revenue from 2019 and their total cost of goods. If that's in the negative, like, the business isn't surviving, the state, we just got an email today saying that's not good, but they haven't decided if that's going to disqualify them or not. Those are about the only two requirements, and you have to have invoices. We can't just give someone money. You have to have proof of what you need during this time.
okay.
And just, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, if I understand, are we submitting all the applications to her? So it's not our decision on whether the applications qualify or not.
Is that right, Justine?
Like, what other communities have been doing is the city actually collects the application, scans it to me. I actually go through all of those invoices that they give me, make sure all the proof of payment's there. I create a Excel spreadsheet explaining everything, just kind of quick for you guys to look at, and then I will write down the LMI data and let you know state requirements if they qualify or not.
Okay.
If they qualify, then I pass it on to you, and you guys get to make the decision of how much they get and if you fund them or not. Now, as a city council, you do not have to fund a business. The thing is, you will have to prove to the business the reason that they are not funded, and you will, if that business goes to the state, you will have to answer to the state of why you picked to not fund that. So ultimately, it is your decision, but there are some state requirements on there, meaning the LMI data, and they have to have the invoices and proof of payment to be eligible to get a grant.
But if they don't meet that criteria on a person on the LMI, you'll have that on there so that if,
It's not really a city decision.
so it's really not a city decision if you've already knocked them out. And so,
Other than if there'd be more, like if there'd be enough businesses that would apply for more than the funding that we have. If we had to eliminate somebody or cut their funding back, we would have to extend it.
right.
Right, Justine?
Right, yeah. And I don't want to eliminate anyone at all.
Yeah.
Believe
We-
me, that
we-
is not my goal.
Yeah, we would just cut,
But-
like, the funding back to where we could accommodate everybody, I would
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to do that to protect you guys from not potentially funding someone and then the state coming back and being like, hey guys, nope, you're gonna have to pay back that grant. So
Absolutely
that's
like
just
that.
why I'm kind of the middleman and everything.
Absolutely like that.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, well, I think we probably, you got,
Food pantry.
oh, the food bank, yes.
We had a question with the food bank, the gal was here earlier, and they have invoices that they have paid out, but they've gotten grant funding for that. That's not COVID related, but they have grant funding that has covered their invoices up to this point, it sounds like. Going forward, the grant is not available. Will they be able to apply for funding to pay back stuff that they've already gotten grant assistance for?
If they already received a grant for it, no, the state would consider that double dipping.
Can they request funds for future purchases?
Yes.
And for how long? Like 6 months worth of future purchases?
Your grant's gonna be open for 1 year. So you have 1 year from today to spend all that money, or excuse me, 1 year from, I believe your contract was dated July 31st, I believe is when the state dated that.
So we could give them funds every month until then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will they have to prove, like, that they're not getting the grant funding anymore? Like, if they've gotten it in the past, will they have to provide documentation for
No.
that?
No. They just want to make sure, potentially, if they ever got audited at any point, that they didn't do that. Didn't, double dip in the grant fund like that.
So
And potentially, like, made money off of it.
So they will
But
have to
there's
show.
no audit
We
from the
should-
state. We're not gonna look into
I would
any
think
of
we would
that.
want some documentation to know as
We
a
need,
city.
we'll need to know whether or not they're still getting grant.
And their grant didn't come from the state though, right?
I don't know what kind of grant it was. I
Said it
didn't
was- she
recognize.
She said Amazon.
Bezos
Amazon
grant.
grant,
Bezos,
yeah.
and-
Yeah, it was not a state grant.
And it sounded like that was coming to an end, so
Yeah.
we'll have to do some more checking with them and stuff, and they said some of the stuff they tried to buy is locally here, which is good, because then it's doing exactly what we're trying to do, is help out the businesses that are selling food-related products. They go to Dollar General or to the grocery store down here, so then that's helping just rotate that money even further, so.
Yes. Yeah, so.
So am I
Yeah,
under-
so whenever they're ready, we actually have a green light right now. We can request funds at any time for that portion. So if they have invoices, I don't know if they have enough money in their bank account to like pay them and then get reimbursed, we can do that. If they do not have enough money for that, then I just need like the invoice or a bill of sale for the amount, and I can request it, and they should get it potentially within like 7 to 10 days.
Okay, any other questions?
I thought Lila had a question.
No, that pretty much answered it, whether or not it was just reimbursement or if they could be paid up front or ahead of time. And Meals on Wheels would be the same if they had
Yes.
invoices for food they bought?
And I'm
Yeah.
assuming because they get some state funding, so whatever they get funded for from the state, it would have to be above and beyond that expenses?
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? I think you've answered our questions, and I think we know what direction we're going. And so now we just got to get the people to get their applications in.
Yep, so tomorrow I will draft up your guys' application and send it to Lila so she has it available. And then, yeah, just tell everyone that they actually have to turn in original applications. They want that original signature in your guys' hands. So, but I will do that tomorrow and we can get started, okay?
Okay, thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Thanks, Justine.
Thanks,
Thank
Justine.
you.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's good, they do as much as they do.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness. All the red tape that they have to go through, it's,
And they're helping us with some of that upfront first, she's gonna go through and make sure they qualify, and then send it back to us,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's.
And that takes the onus off of us.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
because
said,
somebody,
we get everybody that applies and then, you know,
Speaking
we
of,
can give them the, go ahead.
just like the Meals on the Wheels, the senior meals too, shouldn't they be able to?
I would think so.
Mhm.
I'll ask her on the senior center as well. I would think
Yeah,
so.
I would think so.
Anything that's food-wise for the
Yeah.
public, yeah.
Anything else we're missing?
Can I ask a question about the food bank real quick? Do we know why they are leaving the courthouse? Or they were asked to leave the courthouse?
I've heard several rumors. Okay, if we need to discuss any more of this right at the minute.
I think we're good. I'll have Justine help me formulate the letter that'll go out to the businesses. So everybody will know. And then she said she would get the packets to us, the application packets, or a packet for me to make copies of for the businesses.
Besides,
Basically, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
She'll send us back a list of qualified applicants on the spreadsheet,
That's my understanding.
and then from there, we'll have to go through and base it on need, base it on what we feel is the right
Right.
approach.
How many people they employ, their need, their,
Okay.
everything they have, and then we, I mean, if we get a bunch of them, we just, and they're all asking
For the max. and it's
the
over.
max, and then we're gonna say, well, we can't give you the max, because we want everybody that applied, that qualifies to get something.
I think it's kind of with the county, how they, you know, they went through their money and balanced it out.
Yep.
So I think we should do the same, like.
What's the total amount?
So it was 173.6. 15,000 of that goes to administration, and 35.
Food.
Yeah. So what is that? 133,600 for business.
On the food side of things, it's gonna have to be for food, it won't be for building costs.
No.
Just food. But as I was talking to Candy today, just that alone helps them tremendously, because then that frees up that money that they
Right.
can then put
That's a good
towards
point.
the
Yeah.
building or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
And they are applying for a grant that Scott wrote a letter, here, I'm going to pass it around,
They're gonna
letter of
apply
support.
with the local foundation to get some money for the building.
He already
to-
signed it.
To do what they need to do to the building to get it going, and so that this way they don't have to worry about using some of that for startup, for inventory as far as the food, so.
I don't know if the senior center, do they pay down there?
They pay, but I think that's through the state, isn't it?
It might be, I don't know. It could be.
They always gave us reports. I'll see if I can find a previous
Because I
report.
thought they get money for,
They get assistance, and
They
then
get assistance
but
through the
I thought
state.
the actual cooks that get paid
That's what I meant.
are through the
Paid.
state.
Yeah, the cooks are
Wages.
paid through
The
the,
state, and then
Mhm.
we always allot the money, as does the county, to help with the building and food and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure the cooks get paid
they
through
do,
the state.
they do. And a lot of their food comes from the state government stuff, but there's things they buy too, so,
that's
We need to
probably,
make sure to reach out to them and,
yeah.
is it still Cinda?
they're looking for a new head cook, but I think at the moment.
They were
hired them.
hiring somebody.
I think they hired, who did I hear they hired? Somebody, Vicki Killingsworth.
Huh?
I heard they hired her.
Super good.
But Cindy manages anything.
Yeah.
And does anybody know who's doing the Meals on Wheels, who I would contact.
That would be through the senior center.
It is through them too? Okay.
Yeah.
Check, yeah, if you don't have any luck there, check with like Steve Ward's, or, you, Scott mentioned the name.
Tim Burr,
Tim Burr.
when he's
They do
around,
that,
he
right?
helps. There's 4 or 5 people that try to help take
It's through
meals
the
around.
senior center, that's right.
Yeah, it's all through the senior.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cindy could answer that. Well, I guess now we'll just get the application ready to send out and send it to all the businesses.
If we put like a bright red notice or something that they. like
Colored
today.
paper.
Do we
We
want to
didn't
put
see
it in the
that.
paper?
Yes, we'll get something in the paper, we'll put it on our website, we'll put it on Facebook, and we'll print it on colored paper when we stuff it in the envelope.
Yeah, because like David said, there always be that one person, well, I didn't know anything about it. Who, then, who opened up your bill and paid for it?
Well, what's the LMIA, what's the dollar amount cut off?
So if you look, I sent it here, I'll pass this around because I printed one too. It is on this here, but I'll pass that around.
Forgot to charge that over there. I failed. It has to be in column A, is it
A or B.
B?
I think it has to be, yeah, if you marked, it has to be between A and B. I'm not looking at it. Oh, here, I'll look here. See if I can find it here.
What about self-employed people?
So she sent me something today on sole proprietors. They can apply, there's criteria that they have to meet, but there is, and she'll include that in the packet if they're a sole proprietor, there is a way for them to apply, and then they have to meet the certain criteria in order to be approved.
Yeah. Anybody else in
And thankfully, she knows, yeah, so it has to be less than column B.
there? The sole proprietor?
No,
Oh.
for this, for the low
Gotcha.
moderate income.
I was going to set the plan, essentially the same as far as like their net income, or no?
So this is for the employee certification. So a sole proprietor isn't an employee. So there's a different set of criteria for people like that. Doesn't prohibit them from applying, but there's something else that they have to do, and I don't know what it is. But just
Which I guess if they have the employees that are low to moderate, that have to shut down.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
yes.
Like if it's just a sole proprietor that doesn't have any employees that had to shut down,
Yes.
they would still probably be close to this scale, I would assume. But then if they have employees, like they might be above it, but if they have some employees that are under the LMI, that they would qualify.
Yes. I think when I was saying sole proprietor, I guess I was thinking a sole person, just one person, no employees.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. What were you talking, that's probably not what you were talking about.
Just, yeah, the business is registered as a sole proprietor.
But
They
they
still
have-
have employees.
So, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. They still
Yeah,
have to
that
do
would work.
this.
I guess I was talking about, I was wanting to know about those. So, yeah, someone who's completely by themselves also.
Let's take, for example, a storage business.
Yes.
A what?
A storage business.
Or
Could you shut down?
a motorcycle shop.
I didn't remove my junk.
We can't apply, remember?
There's going to be
Actually,
a lot of these
Kale,
that's going to have part-time help, but I see how they're trying to do that, part-time help. They're
Yes.
splitting it down to where they can still get something. It'll just be a lesser amount, but, you know, a lot of them have 2 part-time help, so that if they have 2 part-time help, that might qualify as one person. And so,
yeah. Yeah, that'll, for the full-time
Oh,
equivalent.
yeah.
on how many hours they work a week,
I
so.
know. I
Because there are
printed
going to
them
be quite
off.
a few of them that have part-time help.
Yeah. And for you, Cale, even though you can't apply for this one, you can apply for the one at the county.
Oh, the county.
Because the county's going to administer that one. There's a waiver that we have, a waiver process, so if you're interested in that, you'll need to let Justine, or I can let Justine know, because you'll have to do something, but you are eligible.
Okay.
So
That'd be
that was good to know, yeah. Plus the one that the state just had, that the applications are coming out next Wednesday. Are you familiar with that one?
cool. What?
The round 2 funding that's being administered from the state. You would qualify for that one as well. So I'll send you the information on that.
Okay.
What's that one for? Do you have a name for it?
It's the same, it's the Spark funding, but it's
Spark
round
Fund.
2.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, round
It's the one
Okay.
that's the state's doing, and then they are doing, that's the one that has for like broadband. They're trying to grant there's several categories. And I can't remember all, some nonprofit stuff on there. But businesses that didn't get funded through through any of these other things can apply. I'll send that out to you guys. There should be something, the press release in the paper tomorrow. The press release is on our website. So if you go to our website, you can see it. But a lot of funds out there, people are aware of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a boring thing, so.
Yeah.
It really is.
And,
And then there's a few of those people that just won't go through the hassle of filling out the paperwork.
Isn't that crazy?
There's some that just say, I won't do it. I hope it don't mean that's the end of their business or whatever, if they don't do it, and, so, well, do I hear a motion to adjourn from our special meeting?
so moved.
Say,
Can I make a suggestion?
What's that?
And I don't even know if we can even do this, but, because I'm a newbie, I don't know the rules of protocol yet, but, we're scheduled to meet again next Monday. And I think that's going to be like 6 or 7 Mondays in a row. It feels like it anyway. Could we postpone it till the 31st? And then we still have another week after that before we meet again on the 14th?
We can't.
No, you can't
We can't
reschedule.
reschedule?
Because
Okay.
it's in the code actually that your meetings
Okay.
are held. You have to,
That's why I was
we could
asking.
meet, and if nobody showed up, then we would have to adjourn, and then it's not an easy
I
process.
thought you were going for, why do we schedule our special meetings on Monday? And I'm like, I'm with you, like, who is it that doesn't like, who wants to like have meetings on Monday to do like,
We film every night, so it ain't
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
matter.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're adjourned.
like a
Yeah, we are adjourned.